Hi guys, and welcome to the Women's Football Review. I feel like I've not done one of these for ages. I actually haven't, have I? Because I have been busy working. So today I'm going to be talking to you. Obviously, it was the international break, apart from in the Women's Northern and Southern Premier League, which I was hoping to bring you quite a few games, but actually we ended up with a lot of postponements, unfortunately, due to the storms. So I'm going to talk about the three different cups today. So we're going to talk about first the She Believes Cup. The She Believes Cup this year is the 7th edition of the Cup. So the inaugural competition was in 2016. The She Believes Cup is hosted in different cities across America. So in 2016, the US won the competition. So they were the first ever champions of the She Believes Cup in the inaugural competition. France were the second winners in 2017, and this was the first time they had won the cup. The US won again in 2018, and England won the She Believes Cup in 2019 for the first time. And if you watched my player spotlight on Steph Houghton, you will remember that she was part of that winning team. The US won in 2020 again, and last year in 2021, the winners were, of course, the USA. And I think, I might be wrong, I think they are going to win it again this season. So the She Believes Cup has a very interesting name. It's obviously got a very motivational name, She Believes. And the purpose of the She Believes Cup is to empower young women and girls using the 3 core pillars of She Believes, which are confidence, career, and community. And I think this is absolutely amazing. Confidence, career, and community. 3 things which, as a young woman, oh, hi. I'm going to put that on there. Look, I can do my technology. I am well proud of myself. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's amazing. So confidence, career, and community are the 3 core pillars of the She Believes Cup. So this cup is aimed at young women and girls, giving them confidence to play sport and just confidence within themselves, giving them confidence that they can have a career within sport, and giving them a sense of community. And I think that's very, very important for a young woman who wants to go into playing football, a young woman who wants to go into sport, because you can sometimes find that you don't really have that sense of community because you're one of few. Whereas a young boy wanting to go into playing football, lots of boys are encouraged to play football. Lots of boys play football. But as a young girl, you can find that really hard and you can lose that sense of community. So that's amazing. So the She Believes Summit actually includes a lot more than just going to watch the football. So there are panels with women who are currently playing, women who are experts within the game, fireside chats, breakout sessions designed to give people who attend hands-on experience and tools for success. And I think that's amazing that this cup isn't just about going and watching the football. This cup is all about giving an education and giving a chance to young girls that go and watch the games, giving them experience, hands-on experience and tools for their success. And even if they don't go into sport, they're going to get that confidence, the career and the community to take it with them in later life, which is incredible and so, so essential. So let's talk about the She Believes Cup this season. So the She Believes Cup runs from February the 17th to the 23rd. And like I said, the USA are the 2-time defending champions. So on Friday, the 18th of February, Iceland beat New Zealand 1-0, a goal from West Ham's Dagnia. It was a bit of a scrappy goal, but she got the credit. She is phenomenal. And the USA actually were held by the Czech Republic to a 0-0 draw. But I want to talk about this USA game because there was an amazing debut by 19-year-old Trinity Rodman, who is the daughter of former basketball star Dennis, which I think is absolutely amazing. I love that fact. She made her debut in that game at only 19 years old, and the US is now unbeaten in 63. The US also named a very, very young team, which shows that they are looking to the future. Rapinoe, Alex Morgan are just two of the stars that were actually missing from the She Believes Cup this year. And that shows that the US has a lot of emphasis on the future, especially with that debut. On Sunday, 20th of February, today, the USA will take on New Zealand and the Czech Republic face Iceland. 23rd of February, New Zealand versus the Czech Republic, and the 24th of February, the USA versus Iceland. This is a round-robin tournament, and the USA are my favourites to win. Okay, let's talk about the Pinatar Cup. So, the Pinatar Cup is only in its second edition in 2022, and it's an international women's football friendly tournament, and it is held in locations across Spain. So on Wednesday the 16th of February, the Republic of Ireland beat Poland 2-1, Wales beat Scotland 3-1, Hungary and Russia drew 2-2, and Slovakia lost 4-0 to Belgium. And yesterday on the 19th of February, Hungary beat Poland 2-1. Slovakia lost 2-0 to Scotland. Belgium and Wales was 0-0, but Belgium won 3-1 on penalties, which means that they go through to the final versus Russia, who beat the Republic of Ireland 1-0. This competition is done differently. So it starts off as quarterfinals, and then it gets put into brackets, highest winners, highest, lowest, and then Belgium and Russia obviously have the highest amount of points. They'll be the final, and then it will go down like that. So unfortunately, Wales just missed out on that final to Belgium on penalties. Okay, we're now going to talk about the Arnold Clark Cup. Okay, so the Arnold Clark Cup is in its inaugural season, which is amazing. Oh my gosh, I've got so many notes. I can't find anything. Okay, so the Arnold Clark Cup. Let's talk about the ambassadors. The ambassadors for the Arnold Clark Cup are Laura Woods, who you will have heard of if you are into football and sport. She presents on TalkSport, and she is a regular men and women's football presenter on ITV. And Farrah Williams, who has over 170 appearances for the England national side, and she is considered one of the greatest female footballers of all time, which is absolutely incredible. Her honours include a Women's Super League, 2 Women's Premier League Cups, and 2 FA Women's Cups. I don't know what I was saying then. She retired in summer 2021, and she's played for Everton, Liverpool, Arsenal, and then her last team was Reading. So these are the 2 ambassadors for the Arnold Clark Cup. The Arnold Clark Cup includes 4 of the world's top 10 teams and runs from the 17th of February to the 23rd of February at the same time as the She Believes Cup. The Arnold Clark Cup is being held at 3 stadiums across England. We've got the Riverside Stadium, home of Middlesbrough, Carrow Road, home of Norwich, and the Molineux, which of course is home of Wolves. This is the very first tournament, and it is hosted by the Football Association. In one of the first games of the Arnold Clark Cup, Germany and Spain, it was a 1-1 draw. Spain had 70% possession and are the social media and my favourites to win this tournament. The Lionesses' first game, England versus Canada, as you can see, was a 1-1 draw. Millie Bright scored in the 22nd minute, which is absolutely incredible. And then Janine Becky, Manchester City's Janine Becky, an absolute beauty of a goal. If you can go and find it, please do, to level the score. I was really, really impressed with England in this game. I felt they dropped out towards the end of the game and they became sloppy, said the manager as well. She said that She was really impressed, but they did become sloppy towards the end of the game. Lauren Hemp had an absolutely phenomenal game, and she played well alongside her MCFC teammates, Demi Stokes. Canada, however, just showed a greater desire, especially in the second half of this game. They showed an absolute greater desire to win the game. Nikita Paris, who was brought on as a substitute, had a late penalty appeal rejected, and Canada's manager actually said the Lionesses were more like the England that she knows, which I think is absolutely incredible. So she is saying that the Lionesses are more like the England she knows. And this is really, really good for the future of England. I just want to shout out Nikita Paris's sister, Natasha Jonas, who won her boxing fight yesterday. I will not pretend that I know anything about boxing, and I didn't even know that they were sisters, but that was absolutely incredible. So today, England played Spain. I only managed to watch about 10 minutes of this game. I had to turn off Manchester United. I could not bear it after this weekend. And it was a 0-0 draw. England, however, have maintained their undefeated run. And this is a really, 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 that's a good comment from Rich. I didn't know they were sisters. I had to go. My mum told me she loves a Google search when she finds out a fact. And I had to go through Instagram and I was like, they're not sisters. There is no proof. There is no picture. And then I found one. But they are sisters. And I think that's absolutely amazing. They are two women that have made mega careers in traditional men's sports. And I think that is so amazing. And Tasha Jonas also has a daughter, which I think just shows how incredible women are. Like, she's had a baby. I think her daughter's looks about 5, 6, and she's still there fighting and fighting well. She is incredible. So England, even though it was a 0-0 draw today, it was a very, very, very encouraging performance in preparation for summer. Hannah Hampton made her debut in goal. I think I'm right in saying she plays for Aston Villa at the minute. And Lauren Hemp did hit the post in the second half. Canada and Germany don't kick off till 8:15. So it's very, very encouraging for the Lionesses. And as a City fan, it's really nice to see some of the City girls getting game time. But I'm really, really hoping that the Lionesses can really use the Arnold Clark Cup as a way to prepare for the summer. And on the 23rd of February, you've got Spain versus Canada at 2:30 p.m. kickoff, and England versus Germany at 7:30 p.m. kickoff. So there is not that much else to bring you in terms of results from the Southern and Northern Premier. In the Southern Premier, are any of these games televised? That is a good question. So England versus Spain was on today. I think it was on Sky's, can't remember what channel it was on. So Lionesses games are generally, I found, televised. So if you do have a look on Sky Sports, or I can't remember what channel we were on the other day, I'm going to find out and I'm going to tweet it. I'm going to make sure I keep up to date and tweet when the Lionesses are on, because I can't remember what channel we were on the other day. Was it like ITV something? I think. But yeah, quite a few of the Lionesses games are televised. I'm not sure about the other games, but I'm sure there's always a stream that you can find. But I thought something that was really, really good that I noticed from the England-Spain game today is you've got Ian Wright as a pitch side pundit. And I think that's incredible. Me and my mum were having this discussion, which is quite interesting, about how, when my mum asked me, she said, why is it always women that referee the women's games? And we had this really, really good discussion, because that's a really, really good question. And we said that basically, while it's not equal in terms of the opportunities women get in men's games, like you don't see a lot of female referees, girls aren't encouraged as much to have careers within sport. While it's not equal, women's games have to give opportunities to women. But then once it becomes equal, which hopefully it will do, then it won't matter whether it's a man or a woman refereeing, and because there'll be equal opportunities in the men's game and the women's game. And that's the ultimate goal, is we want there to be equal opportunities, but while there's not, we need the women refereeing the women's games. And I just thought it was a really, really good question that she asked me. And that's why I like the fact that Ian Wright was actually on the punditry, because it shows that men are involved and men are interested in the women's game. And that's why I love when we have the women pundits on the men's games, because it's showing that just because you're a woman doesn't mean you have to stick to women's games and women's sport. And the same with being a man as well. And it was just really, really nice to see him as part of the punditry team. So the Southern and Northern Premier. There should have been 4 games today in the Southern Premier, and there was 1. That is definitely Storm Eunice doing her worst. So earlier in the week, Portsmouth lost 3-2 to the Crawley Wasps. Bridgewater United versus the London Bees was postponed. Chichester and Chelsea versus Gillingham was postponed. Oxford United versus Southampton was postponed. And Keynsham Town versus Portsmouth was postponed. The only game that went ahead today was Ipswich Town, who beat Crawley Wasps 2-0. What does that do for the table? We will have a look now. I have to save these on my phone. So Ipswich Town are still top of the table. They are 5 points clear at the top of the table. Sounds like something I'm going to be saying about Manchester City very soon. And then the Crawley Wasps are in 7th. They are joint on points with Bridgewater United, who are doing very, very well to be in 6th place in that league. And at the bottom are still Hounslow. They have picked up 0 points this season. In the Northern Premier, there was only 2 games today. Nottingham Forest beat Hull City 1-0, and Derby and Loughborough was a 1-1 draw. AFC Fylde are still top of that table by 1 point. Derby have now 33 points. They don't have any games in hand, however, so they are going to need AFC Fylde to drop points, and they are going to have to keep winning if they want to overtake them. Loughborough are down in 10th. And I was going to say they have a game in hand, but they actually don't have a game in hand. So they're down in 10th with 15 points. And Hull City are at the bottom of the Northern Premier with only the 3 points this season. And it's really unfortunate that there's not more games to bring you. I was like, oh, I'm going to have so much to talk about. There's going to be all this to talk about. And it was like, oh my goodness, there are literally no games. They were literally all postponed. I was so disappointed. So we're going to talk about news. And what do you think is the reason for Palace's recent poor results? So if we have a look at Crystal Palace women in the Women's Championship. So they did get off to a really, really good start this season. Let me get the table up. They recently lost 5-1 to London City. Oh my goodness. It's so hard to get anything up when I'm not on my Wi-Fi. So yeah, so Crystal Palace are down in 6th. I would literally have to do some more research into Crystal Palace, like specifically. But I just think they've hit, I think it's quite a psychological, obviously it's a very psychological game, football. And I just think they've hit that slump. And I think once you hit that slump, it's so, so hard, especially in the Women's Championship, to dig yourself out of it. Because I don't know a more exciting league, obviously the Premier League, but I don't know a more exciting league than the Women's Championship at the minute. Obviously, you've got Liverpool absolutely tearing away. It's literally impossible to get anything up when I've not got my Wi-Fi on. Women's Championship table. Yeah, Liverpool are running away with it, obviously, at the top. But I just think Crystal Palace, when you hit that slump, it's so hard to dig yourself out of it. And I think they just need that one game to go their way, and it can literally completely change everything for you in terms of psychology. And I think that's it for Crystal Palace, because I think they've got such a strong team that they should be performing better. And for me, I follow Manchester City, so I know more about their performances in depth. But for me, it seems like Crystal Palace hit that bad result, then they hit another one, and they just can't dig themselves out of this slump that they're in. And I think they just literally need that one game to go their way, and then they'll push on more. But I just think it's so difficult in the Women's Championship, because you lose that one game, you were in third, and then suddenly you're in sixth, because it's constantly changing. And the desire for every team to get to the Women's Super League is massive. Obviously, Liverpool are running away with it at the minute, but I definitely think it's just a bad run of form. And I think once Crystal Palace get that result to go their way, I think they will really press on in the Women's Championship. But I think what I'm going to do, especially for Rich, is do a player spotlight. I'm going to do a player spotlight on a Crystal Palace player. I might even let Rich pick who I do it on. But yeah, because they're such an interesting team. I love the Women's Championship as well. I just think it's so exciting. I'm going to do it on Leah Cohen. Okay, please remind me, because I'll probably forget. But I will absolutely do that, just for Rich. But yeah, Crystal Palace are now, sitting in sixth on 24 points. Oh, amazing. Look at this. Hey. Yeah, and that would be really good, because these, if we could get her on, which would be absolutely insane, these are great questions to ask her as well, because it'd be interesting to see how it works within the dressing room environment when you're hitting bad result after bad result after bad result, because it must be so hard to keep your heads up. You have one or two bad results and you can kind of but then you've got your fourth and your fifth bad result, and it's really not happening. And I think it's really then difficult to dig yourself out of that. I'm just hoping that Manchester City men's don't go on a bad run of form. Rich also brought this to my attention. He sent me this on WhatsApp about the Barrow manager. So Mark Cooper, Barrow's manager, has been given an 8-match touchline ban, as it has been proven he made a reference to gender during an exchange with the assistant referee. Okay, so this is not what it's about at all. So yeah, you might have disagreements, you might have exchanges, you might have words to say, but to bring someone's gender into it is just such a lack of disrespect, and so against what we are trying to do with the women's game. Because obviously, yeah, the female assistant referees, lineswomen will make mistakes, and managers might not agree with them, but you don't bring someone's gender into it. Like, you would never say to a male referee, oh, it's because you're a man, or whatever the comment was that he made. You wouldn't say that. So to say that to an assistant ref just because she's a woman, that is blatant sexism. And I'm very, very glad with how it's been dealt with. That didn't make sense. That wasn't English. I'm very, very pleased with how it's been dealt with, because I think to give him that 8-match touchline ban shows that actually we are seeing that this isn't okay, and it's a step in the right direction, if that makes sense. It's saying, yeah, we are hearing that gender discrimination is a big issue. There's not just been some put out apology. It's been, no, you're not going to be on that touchline for 8 matches. And I think that's quite a big statement, and I think that's a step definitely in the right direction. So in other news, we have got some very positive news coming out of bad situations, which is always nice. So Riley Foster, who was the Liverpool goalkeeper, had a horrific car crash, and she says that nobody should have survived. And that is a big statement. She said nobody should have survived. And that's scary. It's really, really scary. And in just 4 months, with the aid of a neck halo device, one of those, I don't know why I did the hand actions as well, but with a neck halo device, she has actually been given hope of a full recovery and a return to football. And that is mega, like mega, mega, mega news. And just want to wish her all the best with being able to return to football, because obviously she thought that it was over. Like, to injure your neck and to be in a device that's so restraining and to be in such a terrible situation, especially as a goalkeeper and a sportswoman, you think that that's it. So she's actually got hope of a full recovery and a return to football. And I just thought that was a really, really nice story. And Brighton defender Rebecca Stott, who is 28, was told it was likely she had cancer during the pandemic. And in the midst of the pandemic, oh, it is, isn't it? It's absolutely amazing. Like, I just love that story. There was a picture of her, back to Riley Foster, there was a picture of her on the pitch with the Liverpool players, and she just looked so happy. And I think it just shows how incredible sport is, especially football. Like, there can be so much negativity that we talk about on the show, because obviously we're raising awareness for things, but that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it's so nice, and it shows what, like the 3 core pillars of the She Believes Cup, one of them is community, and confidence is one of the other ones. And I think that shows the community and the confidence that that community can give you. And I think that's amazing that now she's hopefully going to be back playing football. And this story is just as amazing. So Rebecca Stott, Brighton defender, was told it was likely she had cancer in the middle of a pandemic. And she was living in Australia before she started playing for Brighton. So in the midst of a pandemic, she said in the report that I was reading that she was just desperate to get home. She did whatever it took to get home. She was really struggling to find flights, and I think it's a travel agent helped her, and I just think that's amazing. And a year on, she is now in remission, and she is playing football for Melbourne City. And I just think that is incredible. That just shows how beautiful the world can be. And she said she has her sights firmly set on the World Cup. She has been recalled to the New Zealand squad, and she said it feels like I've got my life back. And again, bringing it back to the She Believes Cup: community, career, and confidence. That just shows how important they are. Like she said, I feel like I've got my life back. And that is incredible. And I just wanted to shout out those 2 incredible women, because it can be easy to lose yourself mentally in such difficult times and to give up. And neither of them has given up. And they both now are on track to get their lives back and get back. One of them's already back playing. And I just think that's absolutely incredible. Both of those stories. And I wish them both all the best of luck completely. So now I want to talk about HERGAMETOO. And Rich had his amazing HERGAMETOO hoodie on. And I just want to say, if you do want to purchase HERGAMETOO merchandise, please purchase it directly off our website. So if you are into your football, you will have watched Leeds versus Manchester United today. And if you were watching all of the build-up, you will have seen that the Leeds players came out in HERGAMETOO training tops. You do not know how amazing. The HERGAMETOO group chat that we have, everyone was just so emotional. And a big shout out to Jess, our Leeds ambassador, for being one of the core reasons that this partnership has happened. So earlier in the week, Leeds did announce this partnership, and they didn't just announce the partnership with a picture of the logo. We had Rafinha, we had Calvin Phillips, and we had Olivia Smart, Leeds United women's superstar, all wearing HERGAMETOO shirts and holding our banner. And it was absolutely incredible to see. Jess was featured on the website with a quote. Please go and look at it. And Leeds have been incredible in what they have done to support our campaign. So today, the Leeds United versus Manchester United fixture was dedicated to HERGAMETOO. And I think that is absolutely incredible, seeing the likes of Rafinha, Calvin Phillips, Daniel James, all wearing the HERGAMETOO training tops was really emotional, and it was just incredible. I would like to say to Sky Sports that you could have shouted us out, but BBC Football, if you type on BBC Football News, they use the picture of them in the HERGAMETOO training tops as their main picture for the game. And also, I think it was, I just want to get it right, but I think it was Radio 5. I think, just let me check. I want to get it right. Yeah, BBC 5 Live Sport also shouted us out. So they put a tweet out saying Leeds United players warming up in HERGAMETOO shirts. The campaign is run by female football fans to raise awareness of sexist abuse within the game. And how incredible is that to see these male superstars? Thank you for tuning in and commenting. Sometimes I'm panicking that I'm like talking to myself. But yeah, it was just incredible. I got so many pictures. I was like trying to zoom in as fast as I could, taking pictures of them. And this shows that people are listening. And it's so, so important. Like I was saying to my mum, like it's so, so important that the men's teams take this on as well. Because to have the men saying we need to kick the sexism out of football will help to do that. Because sometimes you need men to help you fight against sexism. Well, not sometimes, all the time you need men to help you fight against sexism, because unfortunately their voices are heard the loudest. And I just think that's absolutely incredible. And I just a big shout out to Kaz and to all of the team, like how hard you have all worked from the beginning and bringing me on board as the Manchester City ambassador, just to see Leeds United players wearing the t-shirts was absolutely such an incredible moment. So more about HERGAMETOO. You can report sexist abuse on the website. So if you do suffer any sexist abuse, or you hear anything, or you see anything, you can report it directly to our website. There is also a QR code that I will tweet out later that you can scan, and it takes you directly to the reports page of our website. Hopefully we will see these QR codes stuck up around stadiums soon. You can also get our merchandise off the website, and our plan is to partner with as many teams as possible to really help us kick the sexism out of football. It is too much, and it is too frequent still. I was at the Manchester City game yesterday, unfortunately, and there was so many. There was so many men. Like when me and my mum and my friend were discussing the game, so many men just looking at us like that look like you don't know what you're talking about, and just laughing and not taking us seriously. Like I've noticed that when I get up to cheer and I'm like shouting or whatever I'm doing, there's always one man that's looking at you like, oh, just sit down, or they're laughing, or they don't think you know what you're talking about, or they question you and go, well, who used to play for City back in whatever year? And that's what we need to get rid of, because that's not the worst sexism, but it's still bad because they're still saying that because you're a woman, you actually don't know what you're talking about. So this campaign is mega, and I really wanted to highlight how amazing Leeds have been in helping us spread the message. And it was just an emotional and incredible day to watch the players coming out in those shirts and to see us on the front cover of the programme, our logo. It was absolutely incredible. We were also featured in the programme, which is amazing. And Everton are also the other Premier League club that have partnered with us. And we've had lots of other clubs too. Please check out HERGAMETOO. And there are further games, international games on in the week. Please try and watch them if you can and support the women. One thing that I think is amazing from the Arnold Clark is that it's being played at the men's stadiums. So if you didn't tune in earlier, it's being played at the Riverside Stadium, Carrow Road, and the Molineux. And it's just amazing seeing the women playing in the men's stadiums that are really, really well filled. And like we were saying before, it would be incredible if we can get more women's games in the men's stadium. If we could even have a format where the women play earlier and then the men play after. I just think it's so, so important to help us elevate the game. So next week, there will be a player spotlight on Leah Cohen, and Rich is going to see if he can do his best to get her on, which would be amazing. And then we can more in-depth discuss Crystal Palace and what is going on there at the minute, because they are a strong team in the Women's Championship, but they have had a very bad run of form recently. And like I said before, I think a lot of that is psychological. Once you hit that second or third bad result, it's really hard to pull yourself out of it. And we will bring you all the latest results. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope everyone stays safe amidst the storm that is still raging on. And please have a look at HERGAMETOO. And remember, if you do buy merchandise, please buy it directly from our website. And if you do hear or see any kind of sexist abuse, please report it. You can report it directly to our website, or if you're a fan of a particular club, you can go directly through the ambassador of that club. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I will see you next week.